if x is a non-zero number, is x cubed greater than x? Now, the question doesn't say anything about x being an integer, decimal, positive, negative. It just say that it's not zero. So that leaves us with a lot of options. Now, before looking at any statement, what I want to do is find the values of x that would answer yes and the values of x that would answer no. Okay. Seeing the exponent, the cube, that makes me inclined to use -1, 0, and 1, because when it's a decimal, it has a different behavior. Okay, if x were greater than 1, that would mean that the cube would be greater than x, so I would answer yes. Yes, in this area. If it's between 0 and 1, x cubed would actually be smaller than x, so I would answer no. If x were to be between -1 and 0, x cubed would be greater than x because it would be to the right. It would be closer to 0, so I would answer yes. And if it's less than -1, say for example -2 cube, it's to the left of x, so that's no. Now I know that if x is between -1 and 0 or greater than 1, I would answer yes. In any other case, I would answer no. Now statement 1 says that the absolute value of x divided by x is less than x. And now since I don't know the sign of x, what I must do always is assume both cases. I'm going to assume the case that x is greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, then the absolute value of x is x, and I can replace that, and that would have x over x less than x. It's positive, so I can divide it. It's not 0. It would give me x greater than 1. Okay, x would have to be greater than 1. Looking at my chart, I would answer yes. Okay, but in the case if x is less than 0, that gives me absolute value of x equal to -x. That would be -x over x less than x. I can simplify again. That would leave me -1 less than x, but not greater than -1 to infinity, but just between 0 and -1. And between 0 and -1, that would also answer yes. So in both cases, assuming positive and negative, I always get the area that answers yes. So statement 1 is sufficient, gives me a unique answer. Statement 2 says that x squared is less than 1. Now taking the square root of both sides gives me absolute value of x less than 1, which in turn is x between -1 and 1. And -1 and 1 is here, and I know that covers an area that gives me yes and another area that gives me no. So I have two answers. Statement 2 alone is sufficient, not sufficient, sorry. So the answer would be letter A.